You could hear the sigh before you saw the face, a long, exasperated huff from the middle aisle, a rustle of newspapers, the kind of subtle, rehearsed frustration people display when they want you to know, without saying it, that you're an inconvenience. He hadn't even done anything yet, just stood there, holding his white cane. He was trying to feel his way into seat 12C, but the murmurs had already begun. He should have waited for assistance. Why let them board first? Just to, great, this'll take forever. I was 2 rows behind him watching, not moving, just watching. He wore a brown jacket with the collar turned in, scuffed at the edges. His hand trembled slightly as he reached for the armrest. His cane tapped awkwardly, not quite finding its mark. I remember the way his fingers hovered, hesitant, like they were afraid of touching the wrong part of someone else's life. And then, a sharp comment from the woman in 12B. "You're in the wrong seat." "That's mine." He flinched, apologized. Tried to explain. He wasn't wrong, though. He was exactly where he was supposed to be, but no one took the time to tell him that, no one. Until she did, the flight attendant, Anna. She bent down, knee to the aisle, and placed her hand gently on his. "Hi there, sir. My name's Anna. May I help you get settled?" You'd expect that to be the end of it, wouldn't you? A little help, a nod of decency, and back to business as usual. But this story wasn't over, because the truth was, he wasn't just flying home. He was flying towards something far heavier than any suitcase. His name was Walter Green, 76 years old, and he was going to bury his son. The plane hadn't taken off yet. People were still stuffing bags overhead, negotiating armrests with strangers, and checking their phones for the last time. Walter sat silently, staring at the nothing he always saw. And Anna? She didn't leave. Instead, she knelt beside him, still holding his hand. She asked if he needed anything. Water, a blanket. But he just shook his head, said softly, "I'm fine, thank you." But there was something in his voice, a fracture. Small but sharp. The kind you hear when someone's holding back a storm. Anna didn't press. She just adjusted the little buckle on his seatbelt and told him she'd be nearby, but she didn't go far. She stayed close. Something about him lingered in the air. You could feel it. The people who had once rolled their eyes were now quiet. About an hour into the flight, after drinks had been served and windows closed against the setting sun, something changed. Walter began to breathe harder, not in a dramatic way. No gasps, no cries for help, but enough that Anna noticed. She came over, gently touched his shoulder. He whispered, "I'm sorry. I thought I could handle it." She crouched beside him again, this time not as a flight attendant, but as something more. "What's wrong?" she asked softly. And then finally Walter spoke. "He was my boy, only one I had. He was supposed to come visit this summer. Said he'd take me out fishing. But then, the call came." He paused. No one said a word. Even the hum of the engine seemed quieter. He was a sergeant, military. I never saw him after he left. And now I'll only see the grave." Anna sat down, not crouched, not kneeling. Sat right there in the empty aisle seat beside him. She reached over and took his hand again, and didn't let go. "I'm so sorry," she said. "Do you want to talk about him?" Walter nodded. For the next 30 minutes he spoke about his son's childhood, his favorite fishing spots, his laugh, the time he broke his arm trying to jump a creek behind their old house. The people around them listened, quietly, respectfully, and something began to shift. When the plane began its descent, Anna made an announcement. "Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be landing shortly. But before we do, I'd like to ask for a small moment of silence. For someone on board." She didn't say Walter's name. She didn't need to. The silence was deafening. beautiful, reverent. Walter didn't speak. He just tilted his head downward and cried. As the plane touched down and taxied to the gate, passengers stood, but no one rushed the aisle. They waited until Walter was ready. And when he finally stood, slowly, shakily, something extraordinary happened. Row by row, they stepped aside, and one by one, they placed a hand on his shoulder, or whispered, a soft, "Thank you." No one rolled their eyes. No one complained, they just saw him. Not the blind man who took too long to find his seat, but the father who had lost his son. Anna walked him out, hand in hand, all the way to the terminal. I don't know if Walter ever went fishing again, or if he sat by the lake, remembering his son's voice in the wind. But I do know this: kindness, the kind that sits beside you when you're breaking, has the power to change everything. We're all just passengers in this life, flying toward something, leaving something behind. And sometimes, we don't need someone to fix it. We just need someone to sit beside us, like Anna did. If this story moved you, if you've ever felt unseen until someone reminded you of your worth, leave a comment, share your story, and subscribe for more real moments that restore your faith in humanity. We're here, one story at a time. Thanks for watching.